Hello everyone, so today we are going to do Leetcode daily challenge running sum of 1D array. So today is June 1, right? And in the previous one we were encountering all the problems regarding dynamic programming, bit manipulation, right? And some mathematical problems were there. But now today June 1, they have given us a prefix sum problem. Basically this is the base of our dynamic programming problem. So this is somehow one of the important questions in context of building a base for dynamic programming questions. So let me walk you through this question. Now the thing is that we are given an array nums. We define a running sum of array as running sum of I equals to sum of nums of 0 till nums of I. Basically this index till this index means whatsoever 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or till I, whatsoever there would be numbers, means basically I'm saying these are indices. So on these indices, whatever numbers would be there, we need to add up, and that would be the answer for this particular. Now we are at the end required to turn the running sum of nums. So the thing is, first example. Now here's how it is. As I told you above me, so it was something like this, right? So after watching this, we can see this fact that either we could use one extra array for this same, and in that what we can do means at array of I we can do this array of I minus 1 plus nums of I. This we can do. Nums of I would be representing our present I position number, and array of I minus 1 would be representing the previous one which was stored with us. So this is how we can get our answer this particular. So this was by using extra space, but if we don't want to use extra space, then we can manipulate this particular input vector only, which is being given to us. How we can do that is, see, every element would be there only, right? So what we need to do, we will simply make this particular formula, nums of I equals to nums of I minus 1 plus nums of I. So doing this particular thing would take our previous element and our present element in our vector, and it will simply add up, and then it will be the new answer at that particular position. So this is what we are required to do when we are doing using without any extra space. So here what we are doing is we are simply traversing the whole array, right? So time complexity would be order of n, and here the space complexity we can say order of n because we are using extra array, so that's why. But the thing is that in this particular in our function also its return type was vector of int. So because of this we can use one extra vector for returning our answer. So in this particular context we can easily use it. So that's why we can discard the fact that space complexity is order of n. We can again say space complexity is order of 1 only, and in this we are already manipulating the original one only, right? So that's why a time complexity is order of n, but the space complexity here we can say that it is order of 1. So this was all for this particular question. Let me show you in proper manner how it could be, means how possible mistakes which could be there. So we are given with this particular nums, right? We are given with this particular nums, and our answer should be something like this. So if we are using extra space, then if we do something like this, means nums of I and then nums of I minus 1 plus this, and then again we do something like this, then it won't work much here. But here we are required to use this particular answer of I minus 1 and then nums of I when we are using extra space. But when we are not using extra space, then in that context we would be manipulating our original input vector only, right? Here the original one is not manipulated, so that's why we can't take this particular. We would be obliged to take this one. But here we are manipulating this original one only, so that's why we can take this formula here. So this was the possible mistake which a person could do while transiting from using extra space to without extra space. And yeah, time complexity for both of them are order of n only, but space complexity in context of that if it is allowed to take a extra vector or not, in that context only we can say for this one is order of n or 1 or not. So now let me walk you through the coding part. So this is that first method. In this particular first method, what we are doing is we are taking an extra space vector int answer, and then I have simply given its size and have initialized it with 0. If we would have not done this, then surely there it would have been a runtime error, or else we could have changed our method of giving input to this particular vector. Then we would have surely used that method, that here we would have used answer dot back, so that whatsoever back element is there in the act that could be there, then added this, and then we would have done answer dot pushback. This method we would have used if we don't have done this. Then we were required to use this particular method. But as we have done this, so yeah, we are required to initialize it and also give this size to this particular answer. So because we are starting from 1, and why we are starting from 1? Because we are accessing I minus 1. So that's why I have given answer of 0 as nums of 0, because yes, at the first position there would be nums of 0 element only, so that's why I have given that. So now I am running this loop from for our input vector, and it would be from 1 to its size, and like this I will be adding up everything and will be returning our answer. So this was all for our extra space. And now when it comes for the without extra space, then it is simply the direct formula which was being used here also, because here also they have used the formula. Here also they have used the formula. They had it used as it is, but yeah. So here it's like nums of I, right? And because we are manipulating this particular only, so that's why we can use I minus 1 plus nums of I. Now we can use here. So that's why this is the formula which will be required to be used. Starting from one reason is simply because we are accessing I minus 1 and we don't want null pointer error here, and then we are required to return the input array itself. So this was all for this particular question. If you have any doubt, you could simply comment that doubt, and this time I just tried to explain directly rather than writing it previously, but yeah, I still explain because I just wanted to reduce the time, but still it's okay. I'll take that in my next video. Okay, so this was all. Thank you.